Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to Andy's Reviews, and today we are going to be reviewing The Last of Us Part 2, directed by Neil Druckmann and starring the likes of Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson, Laura Bailey, Jeffrey Pierce, and a whole bunch of other actors. Let's get into it. When it comes to discussing the pros of this video game, I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed the story aspect of this game from beginning to end. So basically, the main story of this game is about us, the players, following the protagonist of this game, also known as Ellie, on her journey to Seattle in order to get revenge for everyone associated with the murder of her father figure, also known as Joel Miller, who was the main protagonist of the game known as The Last of Us Part 1. And basically, it is on her journey of vengeance that Ellie begins to realize that the path of hate, violence, and gore really has no benefit to her life and to overall society, which is also clearly represented when we, the player, get to play as the secret character known as Abby Anderson during the second part of the game, and where we get to view both of their points of view within the same 3 days they spent in the city of Seattle, Washington, which was absolutely incredible. To be completely honest with you, I totally love the story from beginning to end, as I mentioned previously, and I completely side with Naughty Dog and their decision to tell the story to begin with, even though the story of this game is heavily controversial amongst The Last of Us fans, especially considering how the creative team over at Naughty Dog decided to kill off the main character of the first game within the first 1 or 2 hours of the game, and basically where we, the player, get to spend the rest of the game playing as either Ellie Williams, aka this person right here, or Abby Anderson, aka the person right here. And basically that decision was one of the most controversial decisions in gaming history, especially considering how the character of Abby Anderson was actually the person who killed our beloved character of Joel Miller in the early part of the game, and it was the person who actually set off the events of Ellie going to Seattle and going on a major killing spree. And honestly, that story was absolutely phenomenal, especially considering all the things that Naughty Dog decided to tackle headforth of vengeance, violence, and the never-ending cycle of violence. And I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of the game. And of course, the second main thing that I thoroughly enjoyed about this game has to be the gameplay mechanics of this game, especially considering how no other game can come close to the gameplay mechanics of this game. To be completely honest with you, this game is full with a bunch of violence, but the thing that really makes this violence feel lived in or really realistic has to be the fact that the gameplay mechanics are absolutely amazing. For example, we the players get to go prone in the grass as we hide away from enemies. We even get to dodge dogs, and we even get to dodge bullets if you really time it correctly. And it was absolutely incredible. And don't even get me started on the sprinting mechanics of this game. The sprinting mechanics and body movements in this game are super incredible. And if you're interested in learning more about how this game was made, feel free to check out Naughty Dog's documentary of Grounded 2 to learn more about the production and story of the creation of this game, which is absolutely phenomenal. And yeah. Oh, and don't even get me started on the gameplay mechanics towards the ending sequence of the game, which takes place in Santa Barbara, California. Honestly, it was absolutely incredible. And of course, the third main thing that I thoroughly enjoyed about this game has to be the overall graphics of this game. This game came out in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic and was known to have one of the best graphics in the entire PS4 generation and gaming history in general, but those graphics were only elevated with the recent remaster that recently came out in January 2024. And to be completely honest with you, The Last of Us Part 2 is still one of the best looking games you can buy today on the PlayStation Store and at your local Target. And honestly, the graphics, phenomenal. You can tell that Naughty Dog really put their heart, effort, and soul into creating the best forestation and dense greenery in a video game, and also the most realistic body movements in a game, especially with all the incredible mocap work that they were able to incorporate and develop for this very exact game. And I cannot wait to see the graphics of the next Naughty Dog game, which is bound to be even more phenomenal than this game itself. And yeah. And of course, the fourth main thing that I thoroughly enjoyed about this game has to be the amazing soundtrack composed by the one and only Gustavo Santaolalla and McQuile, and how these two were able to create one of the best music soundtracks in the entire gaming industry. In my own complete honest opinion, some of my personal favorite pieces of the work from this game has to be the likes of Beyond Desolation, Allowed to Be Happy, Longing, Belonging, as well as a whole bunch of others. They were all absolutely incredible and heavily added to the stakes of this game, while also contributing to the themes that Naughty Dog decided to tackle on in this game of love, hate, vengeance, and of course the overall cycle of violence, and how these four themes really have no benefit to overall human society, which I found to be extremely phenomenal and well put forth in this game. And yeah. Some of my favorite characters from this game have to be the likes of Joel, Ellie, Tommy, Jesse, Dina, and of course Abby, who were all absolutely incredible in this game, and I am a firm believer that Naughty Dog really created very, very memorable characters with these 5 characters already mentioned, which were all absolutely incredible to begin with. And I especially love the way that Naughty Dog was able to create an awesome relationship for both the characters of Joel and Ellie, which was further elevated in this game when compared to the first game of The Last of Us Part 1. And basically these two have an awesome father and daughter relationship, even though that these two aren't even blood related with one another. And basically we get to see how Joel really cares for Ellie, even though they're not really biological father and daughter, which is absolutely incredible, and further added to the emotional stakes of Joel's death, which happened at the beginning of the game, and fuels us, the audience and players, to actually support Ellie on her journey of vengeance, which we do, and was absolutely amazing. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of the game. And of course, the 6th main thing that I thoroughly enjoyed about this game has to be the fact that Naughty Dog decided to incorporate 2 different sides of the same story in this game. To be completely honest with you, many people out there online feel that The Last of Us Part 2 is heavily controversial and way worse than the first game, simply because Naughty Dog made us play as a murderer of Joel, which was absolutely very controversial. But in my completely honest opinion, the reason why Naughty Dog actually did that was to show that there are actually 2 sides of the same coin, aka 2 sides of the same story, and how the reason why Abby Anderson decided to kill Joel Miller to begin with, aka Ellie's father figure to begin with, was because Joel actually killed her father, who was the doctor who was actually operating on Ellie at the end of the first game. And basically Joel Miller, aka our favorite character of Joel, actually ended up killing Abby's dad, aka the doctor, in order to rescue Ellie at the hospital, which is absolutely incredible and a gut-wrenching moment from the first game, which is absolutely incredible. And basically Naughty Dog decided to show that side of the story, really elevated the emotional stakes, weight, and themes of this game, and how the concept of vengeance really depends on what side of the coin you really are at. The good guys can be the bad guys in the bad guys' eyes, and the good guys can be the bad guys in the bad guys' eyes, if you really know what I mean. And yeah, which is absolutely incredible. It's all about perspective, and I really appreciated that aspect of the game. However, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that this game is without flaws. Some of the things that I did not like about this game has to be the fact that this game is roughly 24 hours long if you do not skip any cutscenes whatsoever, and you actually take your time to explore every single inch of this game and collect every collectible that comes your way, but not all of them to be exact. And I actually found that to be very, very annoying when I wanted to replay this game. So basically, this game is 24 hours long, and I feel that Naughty Dog really could have actually reduced the runtime of this game by actually, instead of having 3 days in Seattle, we could have had 2 action-packed days in Seattle instead of 3, because the 3rd day was really, really unnecessary in my own personal opinion. And yeah, I feel that Naughty Dog really, really took way too long on Seattle Day 3, which really wasn't necessary. And yeah, and of course, the second main thing that I did not like about this game is the fact that this game really, really has some of the most unrememberable characters in gaming history, especially with the characters associated with Abby's side of the story, including the likes of Mel, Owen, Manny, and I forgot the name of the rest, which just shows how unforgettable these characters are. But the thing that truly made these characters even worse was the fact that Naughty Dog tried so hard in making us, the player, feel the same emotions that we associated with all of the characters we love from Ellie's side of the story, and which I found to be very annoying, considering how Naughty Dog really, really tried their best in making us feel emotionally attached to all these characters. And I really found that quite annoying, especially towards the second part of the game, especially during Seattle Day 2 and Day 3, during Abby's side of the story, which was very, very redundant. And yeah. And of course, the third main thing that I did not like about this game has to be the fact that this game is super difficult on granted difficulty. I see why Naughty Dog decided to create a granted difficulty mode in this game, but to be completely honest with you, Grounded difficulty on this game is literally clickbait for rage. Honestly, bro, there's so much rage when you play grounded mode in this difficulty, to the point where this game feels like real life, and how there's really no way to defeat 100 troops during a specific encounter, which was super rageful. Honestly, bro, you know how many times I literally turned off the console simply because I couldn't get past the encounter at the hospital during ground difficulty? Oh my god. First of all, I want to say that it was absolutely incredible experiencing that kind of difficulty, but seriously, holy crap, grounded is not for everybody. If you're playing this game for the first time, I would recommend playing on easy or moderate difficulty, which is technically normal difficulty. And yeah, spare yourself. You should not do grounded until your 4th playthrough of this game, because seriously, holy crap. And of course, the fourth main thing that many people may not like about this game, but actually liked in this game, actually have no opinion on this matter, is the fact that many people say that this movie has a very forced agenda, especially with the things you will realize when playing the game, which I will not say in this video exactly, but if you play the game, you know the forced agenda in this game, which I cannot mention here on YouTube, but you get the idea. You can obviously do a quick Google search, you'll see the controversy and the forced agenda in this game. But to be completely honest with you, in my completely honest opinion, the agenda was not really forced. It was part of that character's character in the game from the very first game called The Last of Us Part 1. And yeah, honestly, I had no problem with it whatsoever. And yeah, some people might find that very controversial, but it all depends on your beliefs and so forth. And yeah. Well, there you have it. When it comes to playing this video game on the Andy's Reviews grading system, I have to say that this game deserves 9.0 chimichangas out of 10 chimichangas, a replayability score of 1 time every 2 years in order to maintain its replayability and awesomeness as a video game, as well as an overall grade of an A-, which is still pretty good to begin with. And yeah, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Andy Talks About Movies Way Too Much, and feel free to drop a comment down below letting me know your thoughts about this video so I can improve my future videos. And don't forget to hit the like button to help out with the YouTube algorithm, and I would really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.